Welcome to AFL Outsiders, brought to you by AFL FanZone.
Hello AFL fans and football fans. Welcome to AFL FanZone Game of the Week preview, where we got the 5-0 Arizona Rattlers heading over to Orlando to face the 5-0 Orlando Predators. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturday, May 7th, on national television on CBS Sports Net. This game is played at the Amway Center in downtown Orlando. While Orlando leads the series 12-9, the series is actually tied in Orlando 5-5. What to watch for in this game? Number one, it's got to be Arizona heading out to play on the East Coast. They have played 14 times since the league came back in 2009. They've only lost 2 times. At Tampa Bay in 2010, they lost by 1, and then again they lost in 2014 at this Orlando Predators team by 6 in Orlando. In these 14 games, Arizona has an average margin of victory of 16 points. The last time Arizona was on the East Coast was actually 2 weeks ago, where they had that overtime thriller at Jacksonville there in week 4. Next thing to look out for is Orlando ready for the competition? Orlando has won by an average of 17 points per game this year. And if you take away week 1's 51-point victory over Tampa Bay, that drops to just over 8 points a game. The combined record of the 5 teams they've played against is 5-18, playing both winless teams in Tampa Bay and Portland. In contrast, Arizona has won by an average of 36 points. Take away that overtime victory at Jacksonville, and that margin of victory jumps to over 43 points per game. We can't talk about 2 undefeated teams this late in the season without talking about the 2 quarterbacks. Nick Davila for the Arizona Rattlers and Randy Hibbert for the Orlando Predators are number 1 and number 2 in passer rating, respectively. Davila has a 130.6 passer rating, while Hibbert has 122.9. Both of them combined, they've had 60 touchdown passes. Now, Arizona has lost wide receiver linebacker Kerry Reed to IR, so that should open up the middle for Hibbert to make short passes to Brandon Tompkins, Greg Carr, those kind of guys to take short passes and take them to the house. On the other side, Orlando defensive back Vaughn Masani leads the AFL with 5 interceptions. In a game of high-scoring defense, expect the outcome to boil down to quarterback play. Stats that matter in this game: Arizona leads the league with 16 sacks on the season. The top 2 sack makers in the AFL both reside in Arizona, and they have twice as many sacks as the second place team, being the Philadelphia Soul. On offense, Orlando is 5th in the league, giving up 6 sacks this season. Penalties. There have been 38 penalties accepted against Orlando, which is second worst in the league. But if you expand that out, that equals the most average yards per game penalized at over 70 yards per game. Arizona is actually first in the league with 22 penalties called against, only 31.6 yards per game. 35 is the combined touchdowns between Arizona Rattlers receiver Rod Windsor and the Orlando Predators receiver Brandon Tompkins. Windsor has 19, while Tompkins has 16, which are ranked 1 and 2 in touchdowns scored across the league. Of course, that's bolstered by Brandon Tompkins' 7 touchdowns last week against Cleveland. What this game means to both teams: if Arizona wins, that puts them at 6-0, and in the first of 2 straight huge hurdles on the road to Arena Bowl 29 are cleared, while they go and face Philadelphia in 2 weeks. Orlando would drop to 5-1, but would still hold first place in the American Conference, depending on how many points they score and how many points Philly scores. Currently, Orlando holds an 8-point lead in points heading into week 6. If Orlando wins, they move to 6-0, but their road is much tougher, as they still have games in Jacksonville, Philly, and a game against Arizona left on the schedule. Arizona would move to 5-1, but still have a comfortable lead over 2-3 LA in the National Conference. This is a huge game for seeding purposes for both teams. If these two continue their winning ways, the 2 games between these 2 teams will be the deciding factor, with Game 2 being played in Arizona on the second to last week of the season. Bottom line though, Orlando needs this game more than Arizona does, for 2 reasons. One, a lot of people are still waiting for that statement game from Orlando. Yes, they're 5-0, but needing to pull out wins at home against Portland and LA leave a lot to be desired. Number 2, Arizona has a lot easier schedule, so a loss here for them wouldn't be as big a loss, especially since the second game of this series is in Arizona. I think this game will come down to quarterback efficiency. The better quarterback between Davila and Hibbert on Saturday night will come out victorious. I think losing Kerry Reed will be a much bigger deal than Arizona wants to admit, and I think Coach Coach Keefe and company play up to their opponent and squeak out a very close 61-60 victory behind Randy Hibbert's career day. So yes, I'm going with the underdog here, the home team. I'm picking Orlando to win this game. Obviously, I think Arizona is the better team, and in the long run will have a more successful season. But in this game, this week, I think Orlando pulls it out. Like I said, 61-60 is my prediction. For the other games in the AFL, in Week 6, we got the 2-3 Jacksonville Sharks going on the road to face the 1-4 Cleveland Gladiators. I know Jacksonville struggled against Tampa Bay, but chalked that up to a hangover due to their overtime loss to Arizona. I got Jacksonville winning 49-40. On Monday night, we got the 4-1 Philadelphia Soul head over to Tampa to face the 0-4 Storm. This game gets away from Tampa from the first quarter, and Philly's opportunistic defense turns in a couple scores and leaves the Amalie Arena with a 58-21 victory, while Tampa continues to set offensive futility records. And last but not least, the last game of Week 6, we got the 0-4 Portland Steel heading over to LA to face the 2-3 Los Angeles Kiss. Of course, this game was supposed to be played in Portland, but due to the Trailblazers having a playoff game at the Moda Center, it was moved to LA. This actually may inadvertently be the game of the week, and not for a good way. Think of the Jacksonville-Tampa game from last week. But at some point, the Kiss is going to win another game. Losing Rayshon Kaiser is going to hurt this defense, but I still got LA to win. I just think it's going to be a very low-scoring game. I got LA winning 38-30. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoy the game tomorrow night. Hope you're watching. It's on national television. Remember, CBS Sports Net. 5-0 Arizona going over to face the 5-0 Orlando Predators. Keep it here for your recap on Tuesday night for the Tuesday evening quarterback. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you next week.